Welcome back everyone to my YouTube channel. My name is Nilesh Dudatra and this video is talk about how to create the application in the Spring Boot uh, as a backend, and in the front end we have to use react.js, and we have to communicate each other this both application by using Axios, right? So for that, at first I have to create one project in the STS, right? I'm using a Spring Tool suite for to create a Spring Boot application. So I'm creating over here one application. For example, I'm you take a name of project of backend, right? So this one is the name of my project, and next, okay, I want to use a Spring Web, then Spring JPA H2, and yes, this dev tools. If you don't have this dependency, then you can find it out from the available field, and you can add over here. So after that, next and finish. So all the files are downloaded from the dependency. So it download from the repository. Okay, so now at first I am opening this project, and I'm going in the source main, then resource. Inside the application property, I will use a Spring, then dot h2 that console, and dot enable is equal to true. After that, Spring dot, then data source, and the platform which I am using over here, that is a H2. Okay, so next, Spring and data source dot, I want to use a URL is equal to JDBC, then colon H2, then MEM, then let me take Nilesh. Okay, so I'm using H2 database, right? That is in a memory database. So if you want to use a MySQL, then or any other Oracle, and you can also use over here. So that's it in the application property. After that, I'm creating over here one model. So I'm creating one package over here. So the name of package, that is a model, and I'm taking an example of student. So student. So inside this student, I am creating a variable, for example, long, then ID, and private string, then first name. I'm creating, for example, next one is a last name, and last one is a email ID. Okay, so as we know that the annotation, we have to use entity. So and then I want to use a table. Table is another, that is a what should be the name of a table inside the database. So I have to use the name and the name of the student. Okay, and yes, this one is ID, right? So I have to use annotation ID, and this one is a I want this field should be auto generated. So generated value, then strategy is equal to generate type dot identity. If you want to identity, and then I want to put this column, one more entity, that is column, and what should be the name inside the table, that is let me take the first name. So first name. So this one is the last name and email ID. So this one is a code for the student, and I want to create a getter setter for the all the columns. So right click, then source and getter setter. So select all and generate. So I had created the getter setter and moving the all the variables over here. So that's it. And after that I have to create a repository. Yes, so for that I have to create, right click, then new, then package. I have to create over here. So new, then package. So the name of the package is student repository. So sorry, this one is a package name, right? So it should not be student repository. I want to put over here the repository, and inside this I'm creating one class that is a student repository. So actually this one is an interface. I have to take as an interface. I'm changing the name interface, so it extends from the JPA repository. So the name of the class, that's a student, and the primary, I think it's long, right? So yes, it's long. Then okay, that's it. Inside the repository I should not write more than this will code. So I not need to write over here the save and fetch the record. So I'm creating one more package over here, that is controller, right? So I required a controller package dot controller. So inside this controller I am creating one class. The name of this class I had to take that is student controller, right? Student controller. And as okay, I forgot to put the this one is as a repository annotation I had to add, right? Just like we had add in the entity and table for over here I have to put. So for here I have to create API. So REST controller. So and if I want to put some mapping, right? So for example, localhost, then 8080, then slash API. So for that I have to put the request mapping, and inside this request mapping I have to write in the path. For example, I want to write API, then slash whatever the next path should be, what we write inside this in the method, right? No, now I want to create a one object over here, student repository, student repository. So it should be private student repository. So it should be auto wired and semicolon over here. After that I am being public, then list, that is a list of student, and this one is a return type, right? So I think get all student. This one is the name of the function, right? So I have to return I'm using the repository object dot find all, right? So yes, Yes, I want to put one more thing over here for the whenever we call this actually this API calling from the outside, right? So if I'm having a API that is a localhost, then 8080, then slash API, then okay, I have to put over here the get mapping, and after that I have to put, for example, you can take as a student list or student. So I will put over here students, right? So how can we call that this API that localhost then 8080 then slash API, after that you have to write the students, so you can fetch the record from the database, right? But whenever we call it from the another project, it means when we call with the react.js, so at that time the localhost maybe some another work on the another port, right? For example, localhost then 3000 and slash, so this will work on the another port. So for that I have to put over here one more annotation, that is a cross over origin, right? So which origin I want to allow? So origins is equal to http then colon then double slash localhost then colon 3000. So I want to allow this origin to allow this API, right? To call this API. So that's it. Now I want to execute this project. I think okay, fine. So I want to execute this project. So for that I am opening this main and run as Spring Boot application. Let me check the output of the project. How can I execute? I have to write localhost then localhost then 8080 then API then slash student. I think it's a students. Yes. So there is a no any record inside the database, right? So I have to write h2 dash console. Let me open this database. So it's a in the in memory database. So I can use this. So one then email ID dash .com and Nilesh and Dutta. Okay, so first record I want to put some one more record aaa.bbb@gmail.com aaaBBB, right? So let me save this record and execute this code. Yes. So this API return the value as a one, this and zero, zero and one, two array, right? So whatever the value inside the database, it should be over here, right? So that's finished in the Spring Boot. Now we have to create the another project that is inside the VS Code. I am using a VS Code, right? So this is in the VS Code. So let me create one project by using the terminal. I am writing over here d colon, and inside this I'm creating one project by create a React app. Then the project name. So this one is a front end project front. So it will take some time to create the project. After creating, I am able to view over here this project. So just wait for a few seconds. So this project has been done. Now I'm opening this folder. So I'm creating project front, right? So opening this and select this folder. So This one is the first, all the dependency that are written over here. I want to add more things inside this, that is a Axios. So how I install the Axios npm then I Axios. So this will use for the communicate between these two applications. So Axios is required, and uh, when the Axios installed in my system in this project, the dependency according to that is stored over here. Uh, so just wait for a few seconds. Yes, so this Axios has been installed in my system. And yes, one more thing, I want to install Bootstrap inside the my project. So according to that, the dependency has been included in my system. Now, what I want to create one, service over here. So if you want to create one folder, then service, then after you want to create a file, then it's okay. But I want to create student service dot, I forgot to write the extension. So first dot js. So inside this, I want to import this Axios from Axios. After that, I want to put one constant path. For example, student API URL base URL is equal to what should be the path of the that this one is a path, right? So I want to put inside the variable. So after that, I am creating class and student services, and inside that I am fetching the get record of the students. So return Axios dot then get, inside the get I want to put this URL. So semicolon, after that I want to export this variable, right? Default then new student services. So I'm writing over here new service, new student services, because if the student has maybe the null at that time it's required, right? So this one is a class, right? So that is a student service. I want to create next one more file, that is a list of student component.jsx. So in this file, I want to create at first the I want to create the designing portion inside the JSX file. So I am creating over here the class list student component, and it extend from the component. So I am creating one constructor over here. So yes, one more thing I want to tell you, that I want to install the extensions. The name of the extension, that is a react.js code snippets. Yes, this one. So if you don't have installed this component, then you can download from the uh, you know this extensions. So you should download this. So if I want to write over here RSS, so it will be automatically create the all the components. So I am removing this. So this will create all the component, all the code, right? All the code, right? so I not need to write fully code for here. So now I am creating the constructor. So constructor, then super. After that I'm writing this dot stat is equal to, I'm writing student, then colon, then this is a bracket, right, to create a one object of this student. And after the rendering I have to create one heading at first, so h2, and inside the head I'm writing the student list, and if you want to apply one style sheet, then class name is equal to, then text dash center. Yes, I want to create the one more thing, that is a div come class name, and the name of the class, that is a row, and I want to display the table inside the this tag. So the name of the uh, class, that is a table, and table strapped, and for the border I want to add border, right? So after that I have to create a body portion. So if you want to create the body, and inside this body I am adding tr, one row, and inside that th, this one is a head, first name, and the last name, and email id, email id. So now I want to create the body part. So in the body part I am writing over here the body tag t body. So for in the body tag I want to write the this object students. So this dot I want to write the state of the student is mapped with the variable, right? So if the student having the row students, then arrow operator I have to use, then tr. So inside the tr I have to add key for the particular row. As a key I'm using students dot id, right, dot id, and I'm adding a td tag over here. So inside the td tag I want to print the student name, first name. Let me check what should be the name. I have to check inside the student. So this one is a first name. Yes, this one is a first name, right? So I copy from this and put over here. So last name and email ID. So email ID. So okay, fine. So this one is a creating a rendering over here. But how can we fetch the record from the Axios? So for that we have to create one method, component mount. So that is used to it will automatically immediately call after the component is mount, right? So whenever we are rendering this method, it will be automatically called. So I'm creating the using the student services over here and get student method over here dot then, and inside that I am writing the res. For example, I am using this variable arrow operator, and inside this I'm writing curly bracket, and this dot get stat, this dot set stat. Then inside the bracket I will have to put in the curly bracket students variable object of this student in this class, and colon res dot, that is a we have to get the get from the component did mount and data, and after that I'm putting over here this semicolon. So that's it. Now I'm putting this semicolon over here. Okay, fine. So at which place I have to display over this code? So for that I have to call this component inside the our application.js. So I'm removing this code. I don't require right now. So I'm removing this heading. So I'm right over here one simple line. Okay. After that, I have to execute the program. So npm start. So enter. So it will be uh, so localhost 3000. So some error is there. So list component is not defined. Okay, let me check this error. So the error is said that there is no any kind of okay, I have to import this list student. So this line is mandatory over here inside the app. Now I am saving this application. So again some error is there, already declared. Yes, some error is there. So in the list.js, what? Okay, this is already I had already declared. So again I not need to declare this. Okay, fine. So compiled warning. So it doesn't matter. It's not required to. So yes, this the data is over here, right? So this this is the output of a React application. So whatever the data are in the Spring Boot application, it should be over here, right? So if I am adding one more line, for example, 3, then xyz @gmail.com tttggg, then okay, let me save this. So I'm refreshing this page, so it should be over here, right? Okay, so bootstrap is not over here, right? So for bootstrapping I have to use this inside this file, right? So I'm writing one line over here, import, then dot, then node module, then slash bootstrap, and slash first dist, then dot slash css slash and bootstrap, and dot min dot css. So that's it. we check the output. Yes, it's looking good, right? So this one is an example of how to fetch the record by using React application as a front end and Spring Boot application as a back end. You can use the API from the Bootstrap and use in the React application. Now, in the next example, we will see that how to add and update operation has been performed by using the React application, and it should be reflect in the Spring Boot application also, right? So according to that, the data should be changed. So thank you very much, guys.